Welcome to the Filmsteins, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmsteins. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $5 tier will grant the ability to request films for future episodes. This is the Filmsteins, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. All around you. And welcome back to another episode of the Filmsteins. Thank you for joining us today. I am joined today by my seafaring friend, Lucy.
Seafaring? What does that mean? Fair in the sea?
You ride something in the sea.
Something?
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be a boat. I think it can be like a raft. Like I think you do need you need to travel some kind of distance to be a seafarer. Or maybe seafaring implies that you do it on a regular basis. Or that you spend a lot of time out there when you do. Seafarer.
All right. Well, hello, everyone.
You can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for new episodes of The Filmsteins. Some of our previous episodes include Sunshine, Insidious 2, our Patreon exclusive M. Night Shyamalan ranking. Go check that out. The Visit, all great episodes. Which one's your favorite of those?
Probably The Visit or Sunshine. Do you want to hear an episode where we really love the film? Or do you want to hear an episode where we should talk a movie? You know, both are great.
Both are great. If you really want to hear an episode where we should talk a movie, Teenage Kraken. That's a good one.
Did we should talk it the whole time? And Elemental,
Little Mermaid. There's
Little Mermaid.
There's a handful of films that are in that camp. Today, though, we bring you a fan-requested film. Requested by a fan.
Thank you, fan, for requesting this film.
Today we are talking about André Øvredal's 2023 The Last Voyage of Demeter. Kind of a sneaky movie that I really had no idea that this was on the horizon in any way whatsoever, which is kind of funny because this movie has been in some form of production for almost 20 years. So that's kind of strange.
20 years?
Yeah, mostly pre-production, obviously, right? That's how these things kind of tend to go. And it's kind of funny because it always tends to be something that's adapted from a book.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
There was not very, very recent, but there was another one that was in Barbie. It was Barbie. That was in production for a few years, too.
Yeah, that one's, I guess, probably a little different because they just didn't know how to make a movie out of Barbie.
Which is
still mostly true,
fair.
But if anyone could have done it in the classiest of ways, it's probably someone like Greta Gerwig. But even she, as great as a filmmaker as she is, just, it still suffers from just being kind of stupid.
Yep.
So, and that's just, I think, inherent in the Barbie thing today.
Yeah. Because
otherwise, it's gonna be really hand over fist and messaging and you can go listen to our Barbie episode if you want to really get into the weeds on that. But I was happy to watch this fan-requested film and cover it here today with you. I enjoyed my time mostly with this film. There's a lot of things I would change about this film if I was making it. This is a film that I'm very much going to remake here in a minute.
So listen up, André.
So listen up.
Get some tips.
Get some tips free right now. I got you. I got your back. So you can just hire me $1,000 a week. I won't even charge you standard rates. I'm not part of union, nothing. I am total freelancer right here.
Cash, under the table, whatever you want, man.
No, I mean, you can payroll me and everything,
whatever you want.
Whatever you want, whatever.
You
yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. I'll do taxes if I have to. But this movie, after you learn that this movie is inspired by a very short, 15-page chapter from the Dracula book, it's kind of inherently, I think, a very interesting film.
Yeah, that's probably one of the first things you learn looking into this film that it was inspired by, I think, like chapter 7 of the captain's
log.
Yeah, which is cool. I'd be really interested to read, a very short 15-page chapter. That'd be awesome. And that's such a cool concept. How often do you see that in films where something's inspired by just one chapter?
Never so explicit like this. This is like the best exercise of pushing a high concept, very one-note premise from whatever, I guess in this case a book, and just kind of stretching it and seeing what you can make of it. And of course, you naturally get something that looks a little bit like Alien, which I know is referenced, because you have a ship that's a thing that's isolated, and then you have this thing on the ship that's murdering everybody. Or it's not really murder, because, I don't know. We'll get into that. I guess I think Dracula's a little more intelligent, so it is sort of murder and just game and fun to him. So, but I think it's at its core very cool. I don't think the execution is all that tight, and it gets a little long and boring in places. So I guess off the top, I would have chopped probably 25 minutes out of this movie, and I would have maybe more, maybe 35 minutes, because I would have knocked out a lot of dialogue in this. But what did you think about the last voyage of Demeter, man?
So the first however many minutes, I didn't keep track.
It was hard. The accents, they drop you in the deep end, man, with these accents. So I'm with you.
Yeah, I don't know if I had an issue with the accents. I think I just had an issue with what was going on and just how slow it was. And we got to see them riding on I don't remember, but there was one bit where someone was riding something. I remember horses walking, walking on a narrow path, and that lasting for like a whole minute. Completely unnecessary. I mean, that's how unnecessary it was. I don't even remember it. I just remember it being long and taking its time. And it wasn't until maybe the girl was discovered that I had kind of a very shocking switch with how I felt about this movie. Because after that girl came out, things started speeding up. Things started dying. People started dying. We got to see Dracula. He was fucking creepy as fuck, and I loved it. And, everything else going on with the movie. And I had a very big switch with how much I liked it. But what's that, like half the movie? I don't know exactly when we discovered the girl, but at least maybe 20 minutes in? 30 minutes in? I don't even know.
20 to 30, yeah, probably.
Okay.
It's about a 2-hour movie.
Okay, yeah. So that's the worst, when you're losing me the first 30 minutes. That's not good. It's not good for anybody to lose your audience for 30 minutes at any point of your film. But the first 30 minutes, if I wasn't watching this with you, I would have turned it off and then missed out on some really cool stuff that I loved.
Yeah.
So that's so sad. I don't know what you could have done, really. But
yeah, especially when we don't have any context. If you read the book, all right, but this movie's doesn't really have anything to do with the book. This is not a Dracula movie. This is really just a Alien style movie. We have this monster on a ship, kills everyone, and then it kind of sets up a more traditional Dracula, in London situation. But so you got to assume a lot of that was there to set some of the mood, and that this is just a regular blue collar, seafaring folks taking cargo from one place to another. And that's not...
You can do that in 5 minutes.
You can do that in 5 minutes, yeah. And we could have had that happening at the same time, which we kind of did, where with Clemens, trying to get involved and stuff. And, we have this whole kind of drawn out scene of, it's not super long, but it adds up. It's just these little bits early in the beginning, because we have this early scene of them picking out sailors and stuff, and or whatever you want to call them, help. That setup is really not very good in the beginning. That specific setup where they're picking out someone to help, because that guy sees a box and is like, oh no, I don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah, the
it's
dragon
just like, okay, you hired him. Like, the setup was, it's just what the fuck was that? I don't know. All that happened in like 5 or 8 minutes, or probably like 5 minutes. And it was just like, why for that?
Yeah, and then...
Just so Clemens could be like, all right, I guess you're coming with us because you saved this little girl or little boy or whatever.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. And then I think when they drop the cargo, you see some dirt fall out. And you're like, ooh, okay. Mildly interested. And then nothing happens. No one says anything. I guess you're just supposed to think, oh, what is that? Why did we have this dirt, and zoom in on it? But the dirt's not even the important part. I mean, I don't know. It's just dirt. I guess, why are you shipping dirt? I don't know, man. But it just wasn't great. And a little bit about the chapter. In every, book to movie adaptation we've covered previously and not covered, there's always characters missing. So I'm sure there's some characters here that are missing, but that's not important because he just took it. It's kind of like what you were saying, or how I interpreted what you said, that he got an assignment to do this chapter. Like, in his head, he's like, all right, how can I make this interesting? How can I add details? So his source material is already out the window. And then it's no longer an adaptation of the chapter, the book, Dracula. And even after we got on the ship, it was just so boring. He was, he was getting shown around, and then the cook guy, I don't remember his name, asks him if he knows who Saint Nicholas is. And,
yeah.
Okay, you're a smart guy, I guess. I don't know.
That's our first introduction into that he's not a man of God, that he's a man of science. And that's always a funny thing to tackle. And it's a funny thing because those things are just not at odds with each other, really.
Science and religion?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
They're just not...
They're not opposites, people.
Yeah. And that's inherently kind of just like, okay, we're going to go here again. Because, not to bring up signs, well, I guess to bring up signs, really, go listen to our M. Night Shyamalan ranking episode at patreon.com/filmsteins. But the God thing is a little more interesting when you have the miracle, godly intervention thing, when you're thinking about, like, coincidences and, the causality of the world, and just, I guess, or fatalism, is that right? I guess determinism, I should say, to kind of broaden it. But if you're gonna say something like that, it should be more in that realm. Yeah.
Where science took it. Not, yeah, okay, you're a science guy, sure. Cool.
It's silly, and I know that is an important part of, like, vampire Dracula stuff, because there's big, like, Catholicism kind of iconography with the cathedrals and the
cross,
the crosses, and
I mean, not the garlic, but could be the garlic,
and the blood, of course,
yep.
And while at the same time, and I guess Dracula is also, like, always considered to be like the Satan or whatever, the devil, a demon type thing, the evilest of evil. But at the same time, if I'm remembering correctly, Dracula type characters are often super science driven. They're very intelligent. That's kind of a trope amongst vampires. And so I think there's maybe that kind of thing happening here. But Dracula doesn't make you question your faith. He puts you in a survival of the fittest kind of all. Just, I was going to say all for one for all, not right.
That'd be funny.
But yeah.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm blanking on my Dracula characters here, but just the first one that popped to mind was Renfield and Nicolas Cage's Dracula, which...
He's a bum.
Someone has to take care of him. And then I thought of the Count. Was he a Muppet? Is he a Muppet? No, he's just, Sesame Street, yeah.
Yeah, they're Muppets, though.
And I'm like, well, I guess he's the Count. He counts, so I guess that's sciencey. That's
that's
smart.
Fair. That's fair.
But those were just the first two that popped in my mind. None of them even close to this dude in our movie right here.
As far as coolness?
As far as creepiness and kind of the like morphing we see him go through.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how to start this, but this is our Dracula here really is kind of at the core of the problem of this movie, in that our director here, André, and crew, editing, post guys, they didn't understand. I don't think they quite understood what they were putting together here with our Dracula, because our Dracula here is very creepy looking, very cool looking, nice prosthetics, nice practical effects. It's very cool. But he's shot in such a way that he's made to look very classical, and maybe almost even like on a theater, like a stage type thing. And he's almost like, in the angles and how they capture him, especially when he's kind of fully evolved, he starts to be shot like he's a sexy vampire. But he's, so we got this kind of weird thing going on. But there's this real kind of style to how they're capturing this guy, and it's really cool. But then we have on the other side of that, we have this crew who is, just blue collar, whatever, they're just trying to get from Transylvania to London
and get their bonus.
Get their early, but they try so hard to just make these guys have character and personality where it just does not matter at all, especially Clemens, of course, and which I'm sure Clemens is a major character in the book. But again, we really are not, this isn't part of the book. This is transcended to be its own specific thing, because it's just, there's not enough source material in the world out of those 15 pages. It's very limited, right, to build any kind of movie out of it. It's not like taking, I don't know, Lord of the Rings or whatever and kind of adapting it. That, at least in my head, makes more sense because you have a lot to choose from. So there's, you can kind of really adapt it. It's not a inspiration all of a sudden like this is. So I feel like you have these kind of conflicting tones in how we're capturing two groups of people. Well, I guess one versus the group of people. And the crew feels like they're caught and filmed in a very, kind of generic way. And I would have liked to see pretty much maybe no dialogue, maybe just narration with a little bit of dialogue, of course. We got to have a little bit. We got people here, but don't have me go along with Clemens and him being challenged in any way. That's not what's important here, right? Have the narration with Liam Cunningham, I think his name is, the guy from Game of Thrones. He's got a great voice. He's
the captain?
Yeah, the captain. He's sort of hard to understand for me, but that's just my ears not being adapted to these, these Europeans. And just kind of back up on any kind of film kind of characterization with these guys and just make it a little bit more theater, actually. Make it a little more bombastic in how Dracula's killing them. Give Dracula maybe a little bit more face screen time, because those close-ups of like where you see like half of his face and half of it's lit up with his eyes and stuff, it gives so much like flavor to this Dracula. And then at some point he mocks one of them and everything.
Oh my god, yes.
And it brings a very human nature to him, like as you'd expect, right? He is Dracula, so he is kind of, he's got a lot of human qualities, right? He's not just this force, right? Evil force, I guess. And so it just kind of is frustrating. It's one of these situations where I'm just a little frustrated, where they just, if they could have just gotten out of their own way, and just let this Dracula kind of flex his stuff, and the cameraman kind of capture some of that, they would have had something pretty special here, I think. I don't think it would have been amazing. I don't think there's any chance in this film being, amazing. But I think that would have been really cool to kind of capture this kind of Dracula, because he doesn't look like he'd be caught like he's some theater character or some sexy Dracula, but he's captured on screen like he is, and I think that's super fucking cool. And then, like at the very end, especially, that confirmed it with me. They knew what they were doing there. That confirmed it with me, because at the end, when he's at the bar, he like looks over his shoulder and stuff. You're just like, god damn, that feels so extra in theater. I don't know how else to describe it, you know what I'm saying? Because for one, everyone in that fucking bar is gonna know that there's some weird looking motherfucker sitting here, all right, and they're gonna get all scared, all right. And so, but and he smiles and stuff, and it's just like, oh my god, we almost had him. We got him. We almost got him.
Got him.
So does it make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, and it was hard for me to kind of place what was wrong with some of this Dracula stuff, because we have this like lunch dinner scene whatever when they're all talking about what they're going to spend their bonus on, and then I think Clemens says all he wants out of this world is, I don't know, something like to understand it or something stupid. I don't know.
And
it's like,
I'm with you, man. It's the exact same thing when he asked him about St. Nicholas.
Yes,
it's exactly the same thing.
And then there's other bits where with the girl,
he said, I want to make sense of this world.
Yes.
It's like, dude.
Okay, cool. And that was before we knew about the girl, so I was like done. I'm like, oh my god, okay. Next, please. And I don't know. We got a little bit too much of the kid, and I kind of get that, because we needed to be a little bit sad and scared really when he died, which I wasn't expecting. And I love that they fucking killed him, and then all those deaths with the son were so fucking cool. Give me more of that. But yeah, like, too much with the kid. He felt bad that he wasn't taking care of the animals and they got eaten. I mean, all right, that you can feel bad in like 3 seconds. Don't give me a whole 2 minutes of this kid feeling bad. Yeah, I couldn't quite place it, especially the dumber crewmates, whatever. Especially them. We got a little bit too much of them too. Just make them shut up.
Yeah,
Good thing they died first.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, I was just thinking like where he was under the stairs when he was all like in a fetal position, Dracula was, and where he was crawling and stuff. It's just so extra, and they could have just
yes, he looked magnificent.
Yeah,
he was good. All of Dracula was good. He looked nasty as fuck in some scenes, and I loved it. And they should have given more.
Well, I think they should have backed up on what they were giving us. You know, give us a little more Dracula. That would have been, you know, where it made sense and stuff. But they just got in their own way. They gave us too much and where things just didn't matter. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of sucks. I like this movie. I do. The main issue as far as like kind of just having fun with it though, I think is a little long, and there are a few scenes that are a little stupid. Like, I mean, you may already know the most stupid scene is when they're trying to get in the door. When the boy's in there. Oh yeah. That is so.
That was stupid.
They could have made. Stupid. See, that was their chance. That was one of many chances to make just to kind of go overboard and let the Dracula kind of walk up to the boy really creepily and real just extra, like, you know, like nothing matters. He's taking his time. You know, he's being real extra with that, and then maybe them not getting in the door makes a little more sense. But like otherwise. They can just put your motherfucking hand down there and open the fucking door, you know?
Yes.
And then the girl shoots the door open. It's just like, this is stupid. This is stupid. This is the most stupid part of this movie, and it ended up being that way.
Yeah, I was too kind of entranced with if the boy was gonna get got. So
I'm surprised.
I didn't feel it too much. Of the longness, but I did feel like just open the fucking door. Yeah. Maybe that's what they were trying to go for me to feel like
they were kind
of anxious.
They were, but it was,
but not in a good way.
Not in a good way. But it's like, I guess it was a good and a bad way, because the bad part of it is they could have just stuck their motherfucking hand down there and just opened the motherfucking door. It's like, come on, stop playing around. And then the
anxiety comes from Dracula himself. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I like that.
And that's I guess that's like a low-key kind of manipulation, you know. That was like, they could have kind of prevented something a little. They could have maybe prevented Dracula from grabbing the boy or biting the boy, because they the director was like, I guess I think Hitchcock is kind of famous for that, for characters just not they just make stupid decisions. And that is one here. But it's like not even quite a stupid decision. It's not like going upstairs by yourself when there's birds flying through all the fucking windows.
I mean, it is because the boy himself, he heard a sound and was like, what is that sound? After the grandpa, right? Not his dad.
Yeah, that's true.
After the grandpa was like, don't move. Whatever you do, don't get out of this room. What does he do? Gets out of the room.
That's fair.
All right.
That's exactly that, actually.
And then he's like, hey, Mr. whatever your name was, are you okay? Dude, he's obviously not okay. You saw him get bit. You saw him get tied down. You see the rope missing from his hands or cut off, whatever. No, there's your moment. There's your moment
we
right
could
there.
have avoided all of this, too, if we just would have backed off of these motherfucking sailors, these crew members, you know, just stop. You know, give us the least amount of Clemens that's needed for this to come together. And please don't do the faith versus science thing. It's just stupid. And then I can just see, like, if this film was filmed in black and white or color graded in black and white with those shots and stuff, I could just see something really special coming together here. But man, it's just...
Yeah, I was going to say some of my favorite scenes of how it was shot and the lighting, mainly the lighting, was when Dracula came out and how dark and kind of bluish it got. But then everything else was just all over the place. But then here's Dracula. And I mean, sexy is a perfect way to describe it. I was just thinking more like a
coolness,
like a royalty kind.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it too.
But now here we have him in a blue light, looking over his shoulder.
It's great.
Mocking him.
It's so good. And Dracula's just like, doesn't give a fuck because he knows this is all under his control, you know? It's just so cool that they managed to capture that, but they just couldn't get out of their way. I just hate it for them because they almost had something special here. God damn it. God damn it.
I agree.
Those are some great shots of Dracula.
I just love everything they did with Dracula. And I love that they made him morph right before our eyes. First, we get him as this, like, creepy, you know, what's that dude from Lord of the Rings? The Dobby lookalike?
Gollum. Or
yeah.
Smeagol, depending on the time of day.
Oh, he morphs?
He has, like, multiple personalities because of the ring.
So he's not always that creepy?
He's always that creepy.
He's like, my precious.
Well, that's, I don't know which one that is. I think that might be Smeagol, my precious one.
He's got, like, 3 strands of hair.
Yeah, and then he is nice.
Ah.
Like, he's kind of nice. I don't know how to really describe it.
Yeah.
You know he's played by the guy who does Caesar in Planet of the Apes?
He's a dude?
Well, he's CG, but he's
the voice.
mocapped by
by
the same guy, the Caesar guy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love those movies.
Mm-hmm.
But where was I going? Oh, you know, he kind of looked like that in the beginning. Oh, kind of bald, creepy, just ugh. In a good way, but kind of ugh. And then halfway through, he's starting to look like something. And then we start getting some of the shots where he's on top of his victim, or he's fading from the fog. That's what I'm trying to say. Fading from the fog and just chasing people. You know, he's getting stronger. And then all of a sudden we have this other scene where that cook guy is trying to escape, which I love that part. I'm like, yes, dude, yes, finally someone trying to escape. And then here we see him with his wings and he looks fucking awesome. I love that transition. It kind of happens fast. What is that, like 4 days? 4 nights?
Yeah.
Which is cool. It's so cool. And I love that he gets got too. He doesn't escape.
Yeah, I like that too. I like that Dracula ships himself.
He's such a genius.
He just feeds into the whole theatrics of it all. Come on, why wasn't this more like Shakespearean and just because I could have seen like the dialogue. I could have seen all of the dialogue being just Shakespearean, I guess, now that I say that, just real extra and just over the top. It just would have been, I can see the film in my mind. It's just so perfect that way.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, because the extra bit of dialogue I kind of thought we got was from the girl. And then, she wakes up after she gets her blood transfusion, which that whole bit was kind of cool, but I don't know. It just felt unsanitary.
Oh, it definitely was unsanitary.
So I wasn't okay with that. But it was cool for the time, But she wakes up and she's like, no, he's here. We got to go. We got to escape. Like, let's get out. And she's, running around, grabbing people, screaming. And they just stare at her. They're like, what? She's your responsibility, Clemens. Take her out of here.
Yeah, I didn't love her performance, but I did like the character. And then I wish she was the weakest character to me, actually. She has one of the bigger parts, so she, I guess, stands that test. But I think she was pretty weak. Yeah, but they're just like I guess they're kind of what you'd imagine blue collar workers would be like. Just like, what?
We're not going back. We get a bonus.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Which is funny in that way, I guess.
I don't know. I would be like, can we listen to her for 5 minutes? Maybe she's got something to say. I don't know. She was in a box, came out. She's got something to say, people. So and maybe I'm not blue collar enough.
I would have just thrown her ass off the boat.
Oh my god!
Like, you're out of here. Didn't a couple of them want to do that?
Yes.
We would have.
Because she was a bad omen.
Yeah, we don't need her.
Yeah, they were like, throw her ass off.
Yeah, you don't. Women aren't supposed to just pop up on boats. That's bad omen.
And then I think the captain was like, well, I don't want the death of a woman to be my last voyage or something. Joke's on you, Captain. She was. So the old guy in the beginning who was scared of that symbol, he had a white eye. Just one of those white eyes that one of the dudes and the little boy got when they got bit. Or I guess while they were, I don't know what you would call that, possessed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you get changed.
Yeah. And
like a zombie,
So they would become vampires?
I think they become kind of second-rate vampires, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you know how their eyes got all white and glossy looking?
Yeah.
One of that old dude's eye was like that. The first dude that was like, nah, I'm getting out of here.
I think that was just...
And then he was scared of the symbol.
Well, yeah, they were all from... They were in Transylvania, so they probably all know about,
He just had...
I think he was just blind in one eye or had some kind of...
cataract.
Yeah, he just had some fucked up eye. I think that's all that was.
Okay.
But yeah, because all those people probably know about that symbol, just like the girl, she was telling us about her town. They bartered with this guy.
Yeah.
With the Dracula guy, and here she is. Here we are. I guess she was next on the list, next on the grocery list.
You got to contribute to your community somehow.
Yeah, they probably do it lottery style.
Ooh.
When you reach a certain age, maybe you are put in the lottery, kind of like
the Hunger Games. Kind of.
Yeah, kind of like the Hunger Games. I was gonna say the selective service.
Is anyone volunteering? No. All right, let's pull a name.
Yeah. No, that's perfect, isn't it? Yeah, I like that.
So nothing with him. I don't know. I just thought of that when I saw the first dude turn and his eyes go white. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, that was just to build a little bit of what's up with that symbol? Is that where our boy is at? Because we all knew Dracula was gonna be in this.
How good of a job do you think they did filming in a boat?
They did. It was, as far as the production of the whole thing and not really accounting for the style and intent of things, just the raw production. It was excellent, they did a great job. If anything was CG'd, which I think Dracula, a lot of his, jumping around and stuff was superimposed into it. He wasn't actually jumping around.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. But it looks, again, though, they capture it in such a way that it feels very over the top, and it's great. And they just couldn't match that with the rest of the tone of the film. But no, I think they did it's a fine production. It's not your regular commercial fare, no doubt. It's not your Garfield. It's not your No Hard Feelings.
Right.
It's got a lot of love and heart in it for sure. But I think we just focused maybe a little too much on bringing some character to a characterless chapter.
Yeah.
And I feel like we could have had something a little more special. Sorry, I keep saying that.
Hey.
I'm just a little frustrated.
Yeah,
you know?
You gotta get
gotta get it out.
Gotta get it out. But yeah, I don't know how I felt about the boat itself, like filming in just this giant ass boat, because it felt too big. But maybe it's a big boat. I don't know. I don't get on a lot of boats, so I'm not sure. But it just felt too big. It felt like some of the passages were too long. It's like the one in particular I'm thinking of is when the dog first gets got and he's like walking down this, like, it felt like a long passage, or maybe the time made me feel like it was long, but it just felt, I don't know, it just felt like it was too big. There were too many rooms, there were too many places. I don't think I saw a place twice.
No, there might be something to that actually, because yeah, we see that the big hull of the boat, obviously where all the cargo is at, but we also have a place where they put, it's not a huge place, but we put these animals in some place. We saw their quarters, and that was pretty big, and then the kitchen's huge, and then the captain's quarters are also pretty big, and then there's a hallway going to that. I feel you. There's a lot of space in this ship, and it doesn't look that big.
Yeah, and I guess I expected to feel a little bit more claustrophobic, to feel a little bit more of that suspense that I'm gonna get got because there's nowhere to go. But I didn't feel that like I would have wanted to.
Yeah, and they also didn't put us behind any specific character like they did in, like The Visit, where we're behind Tyler and Becca the whole time, It's a little bit different because it's found footage film, so we're kind of literally there. But, you see in films, we live through the eyes of specific characters. That's a very normal thing to do. We aren't just there watching what happens. Yeah. But here we kind of are. We're not really with Clemens. We're not with the captain, obviously. And yeah, we're not really we're not in danger here, like we definitely could have been.
But if you're going to call this a horror film,
I don't know if they are. I did watch this video of this lady was saying, she was talking to the Clemens actor. I think his name's Corey something. He's American, by the way. He's not
Hawkins, yeah.
Corey Hawkins.
I think he's going to be in The Color Purple musical.
I wonder if he's going to be singing.
I think so. It's a musical.
Was he going to be singing? You know what I mean? I know some of the others are going to be singing.
I bet he's going to be singing.
So we'll see about that. He's got a striking appearance. I could see him being an attractive person if they can get some nice kind of acting chops out of him.
Yeah. Although it looks like it is going to be, and it should be, more female oriented, so maybe he won't be singing because it is about.
Well, they got to have that one guy number where they sing about guy things and stuff. They sing
beating up women.
They what?
Beating up women.
Beating up women, exactly. Taking advantage of them and neglecting them. Yes, of course, we need that number. I'm all about that.
But yeah, you were talking about him, Corey Hawkins.
Yeah, some lady was going, like, she just kept bringing up that this movie is like scared her and stuff. I was just like, I mean, I'm not, I can't judge anyone. I'm not, I can't. It's not even like worth saying judge really. If stuff scares you, it scares you. But I'm just like, I can't imagine in a million years this movie scaring anyone, but maybe with the exception of some of the shots of Dracula, of course. But it's just kind of funny to me what scares people, because some people can't handle any kind of horror.
That's true.
It's just how it is. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you watched it with a scaredy cat and a 9 and 10-year-old,
10 and 11-year-old.
Yeah, 10 and 11. Yes, I'm so sorry. 10 and 11-year-old, and nobody got scared.
Yeah,
I got creeped. I got kind of like, ooh, he's behind some
Yeah, you probably
fog.
got scared the most.
But yeah, I think I probably did get scared the most. But, I didn't...
It's being scared is such a
slipped.
personality thing, isn't it? It has nothing to do with age, I feel like.
I don't know. I've always been
That's what I'm saying.
a scaredy cat.
Everything to do with personality. You're a scaredy cat. You always have been, and you think you always will be. And I envy that big time. I wish I had that in me.
No, you don't.
Because I had my moments of being afraid of Chucky from Child's Play.
Me too.
But but it was never, and that was just kind of meh, I didn't mess with me too much, but I wish I had that in me, especially today, being, kind of reflecting on that and being a little more self-aware of how I think about films and, things that scare me and stuff out of games and whatever. I wish I had that in me. But of course, though, games are much scarier than film, though, because you have to go forward.
Yes.
You have to do the action. You have to.
I can't.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Which Resident Evil did you make me play? You made me play 2 of them.
Resident Evil 2 and I think 7.
Yeah, 1 was on the VR and I could not. I took that shit off. I don't know if I could do it again. Maybe if I'm a little drunk. I don't know. Maybe I'll get more scared. Who fucking knows?
No, you can't be drunk and do the VR. You're going to get motion sickness like crazy.
Okay, maybe like tipsy. But the other one was just out in the open playing normal game, and I couldn't because I had to shoot them, and they all kept coming at me, and I didn't know I had to fucking reload because my mind's not there. My mind.
You don't shoot guns?
Well, in my mind, there's zombies coming. I just need to boom, boom, boom them. And nope, it scared the crap out of me. What were we talking about? Oh, Wiki does call this a supernatural horror film. So, okay, supernatural, got that, I guess.
Well, yeah.
It's just Dracula. All right. I don't know. I feel like there could have been a better word. Supernatural, I don't know. But the horror, it's
just like, they're just kind of defining the situation and they're not really defining the mood of the movie.
Yeah, they're not scaring anyone.
Yeah.
They're not.
Because again, we're not really participating in the movie. We're literally just kind of watching it play out. We're not really behind no one's our eyes, as I say. Like in Split, who are our eyes? Casey, right?
Yeah.
We don't have eyes here. We don't have an audience surrogate in that way.
Exactly. So if you're going to make it creepy and scary, we need that.
Yeah, totally.
So call it something else.
I guess supernatural horror adjacent thriller.
Just suspense.
Supernatural suspenseful film.
Yep.
Right. Locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded.
There you go, André.
You're welcome.
That's free.
That's free. Unless you want to subscribe, you can listen to our M. Night Shyamalan ranking while you're here.
You might like that. Yeah, cute film.
How'd you feel about the end? The obvious setup for a sequel there.
Well, I mean, I think that's very cool. Of course, I like it when a film has some kind of overall direction and, kind of vision for a future in some capacity, whatever that means. I like it best in the form of when a director will make a trilogy of films that are not specifically connected in any way other than theme. I like it when that is kind of the vision.
Like what?
Like
Unbreakable and Glass and Split?
That's a little more literally connected. I guess I'm thinking more like the guy who did Lady Vengeance, Old Boy, and the other one, the Korean films.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's, I guess this is less of one, but the Human Condition Part 1, 2, and 3. Those are some Japanese films.
Okay, I see.
Those are a little more directly connected, I guess. And then Lars von Trier also has a couple of those trilogy-esque films that are like loosely connected. Or the film White, Blue, the films, I should say, White, Red, and Blue. I think those films deal with different types of loneliness, but they're disconnected from one another, but they all deal with kind of the same matter and are shot in similar ways.
So if Black Mirror episodes were movies, because they don't they kind of connect, but they're not the same characters.
Yeah,
Not the same
sort
story.
of, but usually about like one specific kind of topic, whatever that might be.
Okay.
So sort of, because some of like, like, I guess like in a Black Mirror kind of sense, a lot of those deal with specific types of technology, which is cool that, connects, it keeps those kind of coherent with one another.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that kind of works, yeah. And I like some of Black Mirror. I guess I like the earlier Black Mirror, but
Yeah, season 1 is amazing.
yeah, and I guess they either have something to say about technology or society or both. Usually, Black Mirror does. But yeah, this is obviously going to be a literal continuation, which is cool. I know some people have a problem with setups like that because it feels like a cash grab, but that's how we get things like, Harry Potter is made from books, but that's how we get things like Harry Potter, these continuations of an IP, or that's how we get a split Unbreakable Glass, right? This vision to have this overarching story between multiple movies.
Yeah.
Not quite on the MCU level. That's a little extreme and very cool in its own right because it's very ambitious and obviously very hard to do. But I do appreciate that. Because it would be kind of cool to have like a handful of movies that, kind of go through the Dracula story. Maybe we get a prequel. This one, apparently, if we can make a movie out of 15 pages, there's going to be a lot of these, I guess. But
yeah.
So.
There is. Yeah, I
admire that. I really admire that they managed to get a decent movie out of 15 pages. That's definitely worth saying.
Yeah, and I like what you said about how there was obviously thought and heart put into this film.
Because it's just maybe a little too much kind of deal, which is just so funny to say, but...
He got excited.
Yeah.
About what he could come up with 15 pages. You know?
Yeah.
That's fair. But, dude, not 2 hours worth. Come on. At least the beginning. Ugh. Maybe the beginning should have been...
The beginning should have just been Dracula shipping himself, whatever that means, without showing Dracula,
I was just about to say that.
Were you really?
Yes.
That's so funny.
I was going to say, the beginning should be the piece of paper and it getting like stamped from the mailman or something, and then we just see the box moving along.
Great minds think alike. That's
great
crazy.
Great minds think alike. That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's crazy. Look at you.
Take notes, dude.
You're at least an equivalent filmmaker like as me,
Hey.
know. That's cool. Maybe more of a filmmaker, maybe.
Thank you. I doubt it, but thank you.
No, you probably are.
André should
You've come up with some good
notes,
stories.
That's so sweet. Maybe I'll share my stories.
Here on the podcast?
Yes.
No, you don't want to do that. We don't need anyone stealing your stories. We gotta write them and get them documented and everything.
Get them patent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like the sequel setup too. I like that he felt his chills, and I'm like, no, I know what that means. And then you see him sitting in the corner. It's like, dude, what the fuck? When did you get there?
Yeah,
I loved it.
It's fun. It's cute. I just, and that ending just, the ending just confirms my thought on their thought of what they had in that Dracula too, which is that they knew they had a good Dracula. They knew that this Dracula's like he's got some riz, you know what I'm saying?
That's good. Good job for making an awesome Dracula, but
I feel like that's pretty hard to do, actually.
Make a good Dracula?
Yeah. Because I feel like Dracula's kind of, unless you go through that more traditional kind of Lugosi version of it, that's like, it's going to feel very old, and I guess, I don't want to keep saying theater, but that's just what comes to mind, it's just so over the top and...
Soap opera-y?
Soap opera? Yeah, kinda.
Korean soap opera. They're the most dramatic.
They are. They know how to write drama. There's no doubt about it.
Put this Dracula.
I want to see a Korean Dracula.
Yeah, in South Korea.
That'd be sick. Oh my god. Or at this point, either Japanese Dracula would be dope too.
My god, yes.
I feel like a Korean Dracula would be better though, because the Japanese Dracula would be. I don't know. I feel like when you get Bong Joon-ho behind another Dracula, he'd have something to say about. I don't know. I feel like he could come at it from an actually interesting religious perspective. Not that he's very religious in any of his other films, but because he likes to come at a lot of things from an environmentalist. Well, I don't know. Sort of. Yeah.
I mean,
he kind of makes fun of the whole economy of environmentalism. So, but he obviously cares about taking care of your earth.
Yeah. Yeah, because we really see that in Oksha. And what's the other one? The Host? I mean, maybe he'd make Dracula not an environmentalist, but he's the one causing mayhem. He's not disposing of his bodies so now people are here around contaminated.
But then you slowly learn that Dracula is actually better for the environment and man's the real problem.
Dun, dun, dun. Population control.
Yeah. He's just trying to...
He's trying to help.
He's just trying to help.
Really? He's just trying to eat.
Yeah,
so...
I don't know what a Bong Joon-ho's Dracula could look like. That'd be a crazy film. It seems like a lot of... I can't wait for the Robert Eggers Nosferatu film.
Yes.
That's gonna be a humongous Dracula film. That's gonna be good stuff.
When does that come out?
Next year, I think.
Next year? Oh, I have to wait.
That's gonna be what I want out of this film, probably. I hope it's in black and white.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I briefly remember seeing maybe a promotional poster, but I don't remember if it was in black and white.
Yeah, I can't remember. The Lighthouse was in black and white, so there's potential. That's one of his other films.
Oh.
And The Witch is almost in black and white. It's so fucking desaturated. It's cool.
Yeah, I'd be for that. I think I'd be for that.
And then you have The Northman that's like, I wouldn't say it's vibrant, but it's like super beautiful. It's like if you just crank up the sharpness on an image. It's super cool looking.
The only good thing about that movie.
Oh, that movie's excellent. He's one of the great directors.
It's too long. Mm-mm.
Yeah, and the accent thing is a issue there.
Yeah, and we saw it at the movie theater, so too long and no subtitles at the movie theater.
Yeah.
All right. That's a big problem.
Yeah, I don't like long movies at the theater, and the subtitle thing can be a big issue.
They should have screening, like, specific screens where you can get your ticket with subtitles. And if enough people want it, make more. That's all I'm saying. Because I think we're in a very subtitle need.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so popular, but it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, because even the nieces were like, can you put... Or I think you said, do you want me to put subtitles? And they're like, yes, please. I'm like, what? You guys are reading the subtitles?
You guys know how to read? That's funny. Yeah, I'm good with the Demeter. It's definitely gonna...
Yeah, it's very... The highs are highs and the lows are lows.
Yeah, and it's kind of a good problem to have with the film, when you can see the potential. It just kind of makes it fun to at least talk about. But it not a lot of people saw it that way, apparently, though.
Uh-oh.
This film did not make any money.
I don't think I want to tell you my budget guess. And now thinking that this is classified as horror, maybe I should have gone lower, but I'll tell you my first budget guess.
What's your first budget guess?
50 million. Because I thought all of Dracula was CGI.
Yeah, I don't know about like the wingspan and stuff, but he pretty much is, yeah.
And I didn't know if a lot of like the weather was CG'd or maybe not CG'd, but kind of...
That's a good question. It looks good, yeah.
Did they have to get fog machines and...
Yeah, they definitely got fog machines.
I mean, I don't think fog machines are too expensive, but also I don't use the professional ones. I use the like $30 ones around Halloween time. They probably had
$30 ones.
All right, turn them on. Go, 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 go.
Yeah.
And they turn them on really fast.
All their PAs were
lined up,
them on.
ready to go.
They all had walkie-talkies. They probably had a green light. When you notice the green light, all right. Or something maybe dimmer than that, actually. But
Why does the fog from fog machines smell good?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I agree.
It smells good.
It's a weird smell, too. I don't know if anything else. What is the fog? Is it just... I don't even know.
Yeah.
Is it a liquid? Do you pour it in like a little container? Okay.
Yeah, it's a liquid. Proprietary water and glycol-based or glycerin-based fluids. Yeah, I don't know. But all right, 50. What is the real?
45.
What? For real?
45
For
million.
real?
Good job. That's a pretty good guess. And it has gone on to make $20 million.
No.
So this movie is a massive flop. It probably need to hit, I would imagine, close to somewhere between 70 and 80 to make money.
No, that's so sad because it's not that bad. It's not.
No, it's a little expensive though. But still, even if, I mean, I think an M. Night kind of character could have made this film for probably half that, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You know, if Ari Aster is behind this, he would have made this for probably half that. If maybe close to the Beau's Afraid number, I don't know, but
It was the fog machines.
it was the Fog Machines at 20 million, so I can guarantee you we will not be seeing a sequel, unfortunately. Yeah.
No.
So no Clemens moving forward.
That sucks.
Yeah.
There's no way it's gonna go up.
No, this is
Wow.
it. It's been out for 1 month and it's already been released to Amazon Prime and stuff. So
that's not good.
so they can. There's some chance that it might make its money back. It might, right? But yeah, we definitely won't be seeing a sequel unless they can, guarantee that. All right, we're gonna make a sequel, but it's gonna be, $20 million. The sequel will be. I don't know if Universal's interested in working with $20 million budgets like that, though.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always sad when the film doesn't make its money back and, everyone get paid for their very hard work. Because I imagine some of these people are working 12-plus hour shifts.
Yeah. Well, they're getting paid.
Yeah, but, if the movie does great, do they get, bonuses and stuff?
Most of these people do not. Yeah.
Is that what the strike's about?
Yeah, I don't know if it might be part of it or not, but...
Oh, okay, well, still.
Yeah, because, the crew they're getting paid standard rates.
But then now you don't get paid for the sequel that you would probably be asked to come back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. It's always sad when it doesn't, and especially something so average that...
To bust so bad.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, why is Elemental hitting $500 million?
Exactly.
And this movie can't even break even. This movie's infinitely better than Elemental. Infinitely better than Little Mermaid.
Yes. And I think Little Mermaid just came out to Disney Plus. And it came out to theater how many months ago? Earlier this year?
May, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Around then. So, all right. Whatever.
Yeah. Hate to hear it. I mean, I will, be happy to... It's a little too late, really, for a sequel, but I'll be happy to recommend this to anyone who's interested in a vampire movie.
Yep. I'd probably tell them to fast forward the first 10 minutes, and then they're good. They're solid.
Yeah. It's fun. It's all right. Well, thank you for watching this film with me.
Thank you for surprising me with this film. I didn't know what we were going to watch the whole time.
You're welcome. Well, and thank you for talking about this film with me today.
You're welcome.
Good talk.
Yes.
I'm almost hesitant to say this movie, it's kind of creeping down on my ladder of likingness. But I'm not going to let it. There's the potential here and the Dracula and stuff, I can't let it beat up my opinion too much. There's a lot of love here. It just gets in its way. That's my main problem with this. And that's just getting in your own way is kind of a funny problem and good problem to have. You just need to kind of, you hopefully can kind of realize that and back up on that during production or editing even maybe. And so it's because, it's not just a cash grab. It doesn't feel like a cash grab at least. And the director kind of indicates to me that it isn't.
I agree.
And there's, it looked like they maybe had a lot of fun making this. And
yeah, once it kicked in for me. Cool deaths.
Yeah.
Cool monsters. Sadness. Explosions.
Yeah.
Drownings. All that you want in a film.
Yep. I hear it. Well, thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Filmistines. We enjoyed talking about this film for you guys. And for ourselves, not just for you guys. We don't do this for you.
I don't think you can say that to them.
We do this for ourselves, first and foremost. But go listen to our other episodes on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Patreon. Go listen to our M. Night Shyamalan episode. It's a very great episode where we rank his filmography. But until next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmistines. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines, and follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmistines signing off.